Here we are back again with another tier ranking video. I know I've already done 2 of these in the last like 3 weeks, but I can't help it, you guys. This is honestly my new favorite video to do. And I came up with another concept for the tiers, and that is to rank an entire brand. I jumped on Instagram Live earlier today and I asked you guys what brand you wanted to see, and a lot of you said Fenty. So I'm going to be letting you guys know every single thought that I have on every single product from Fenty, all the way from my holy grails to the products that I feel that aren't so great that maybe you should avoid. Let me know in the comments what other brands you'd like to see me do this kind of like ranking thing with. I would love to do more. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And without further ado, let's get started. So here is the tier list for today. I did change this up from the other ranking videos that I've done because this is for an entire brand, so I felt like the categories had to change a little bit. So let me go through them all. So starting off at the top, this is the best category on the list. These are my favorite products, the ones that I think are must tries. Pretty self-explanatory. Underneath that, we have the underrated products. So the products that I think are really great, but may not be spoken about very much. Below that, we've got she's cute. Not the most descriptive category, but I felt like it really, it captured the vibe that I was going for. Is she amazing? Is she stunning? Maybe not, but she's cute. She's good. I like her. Below that, we've got has some flaws, but it's good. Again, very specific. These are obviously the products that, you know, have their place, but may have some things that some people may not like, which I'll get into if and when the time comes. Below that, we have take it or leave it. Very self-explanatory. This is the category. That sound effect exactly. Below that, we have not a fan. These are products that I simply just don't like for one reason or another. And then the very last category is the worst category, and that is just avoid. There's no redeeming factors to this product according to me, and I just do not like it at all, and I would not recommend it even in the slightest. So with all that being said, let's go category by category, and let's start off first with the complexion products. I am starting off with a product that I actually kind of have a love-hate relationship with, and this is the Pro Filtr foundation. So this foundation was the very first product that Fenty released. This is a very, 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 very full coverage foundation. Now this foundation is definitely more geared towards a normal to oily skin type. If you have dry skin, this foundation can be a little bit tricky. But even though I have dry skin, and this foundation can be a little bit tricky for me because it is so full coverage and it is kind of slightly drying because it is a very, very, very long wearing formula, I do find that I'm able to make it work. So I will basically only use this if I mix it in with other more light coverage, dewier foundations to kind of balance it out a little bit for my skin type. So it makes it a little bit more hydrating, a little bit more dewy, but it keeps the really amazing coverage that this foundation has, and it also increases the longevity of whatever the foundation is that I'm mixing it into, and that's what I really, really love to use this for. So for me, this is purely like a mixer foundation. I don't really love to use it on its own. I do find that it is a little bit too drying for my liking and a little bit too like matte and like full on. So this is actually a perfect product to go in the has some flaws, but it's good category. So being that the first foundation that Fenty released was more on the matte side and it was more geared towards people who had oily skin, I was so excited when they released their hydrating foundation, which is this guy over here. I actually had a lot of problems with this foundation. It really wasn't my favorite at all. In fact, I just really didn't like it. I found that it sat on the skin in a really obvious way, looked really heavy and cakey, and kind of just like moved around a lot on my face. Like it never really felt like it fully set down, and that just created a really cakey appearance. I just did not like this at all, and I really, really wanted to so badly. So for me, I'm just not a fan of this foundation. Next, we have the third foundation that Fenty has. This is the Eavesdrop Skin Tint. I mean, if you've been watching any of my videos lately, then it's no secret that I have pretty much a love affair with this foundation. I have it right here. It's pretty much become my foundation of the summer. For a day today, I go between this and my MAC Face and Body, and it's honestly magic. I've never really tried a skin tint that is quite like this, and that's why I just really enjoy it so much. Like a skin tint, it's very liquidy, it's very lightweight, it doesn't really feel like much on the skin. skin, but it does have some nice coverage to it. I would say it's about like a light to medium coverage. But what makes this really special to me is that it really smooths the skin. It almost adds like a soft focus effect to the skin, and every single time I use this, I feel like I'm having a good skin day. Because the finish of this isn't overly dewy, I don't find that it goes anywhere. It is quite long wearing, and I can wear this during very sweaty days and I'm good to go. It's honestly just like a huge favorite of mine, and I am going to be using this for a long time. So I will definitely be putting this in the must try / favorite category. It's probably one of my favorite products that Fenty has. Moving on to concealers. This is the Pro Filtr Instant Retouch Concealer. This is another one that I am really just not a fan of. I also found that this concealer was a little bit on the dry side. It worked a little bit better to conceal around my face, but it was still just not my favorite formula at all. I just really didn't like it. It's as simple as that. It was just way too drying for me. So this is going to go into the not a fan category. The newest concealing product that Fenty released is their Bright Fix concealer. I have one right over here. This is another complexion product from Fenty that I just wasn't a huge fan of. I'm realizing now that the only complexion product that I've really loved from Fenty really is the Ease Drop foundation. Besides that, I guess I didn't really like much else. This also isn't really a concealer. I shouldn't even call it that. It is considered an eye brightener. So this is not really a product that's going to give you any coverage underneath your eyes. It's instead just going to brighten up that area and give you kind of like a veil of color there. So it's not going to cover, it's just going to add color. And honestly, for me, I find that most eye brighteners that I use actually make my under eyes look worse because it looks like there's concealer there, but it's not really doing anything. So in some ways, it's almost counterproductive. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna put something there, I'd rather just be like a light coverage concealer just to lightly cover up my under eyes, not just to add like a brightening effect. There are a couple eye brighteners that I do enjoy. This just isn't one of them. I just don't find that it really does anything super special. So for me, I think I would probably put this in not a fan. Wow, I feel like I'm being a little bit harsh. Ooh, we're getting to the good stuff soon though, I promise. Next we have the Fenty Loose Powder. This is a product that I haven't had the most experience with because I think I tried this maybe 1, 2, 3 times and then I just never used it again. Please know, if you are not familiar with my channel, I am not the biggest fan of face powder. I do have dry skin. Me and face powder, we don't always get along. There are only a very select few powders that I find work well for me, and I'm very loyal to those powders. The ones that don't work well for me, I don't really have a lot of patience for. So this is really from a dry skin person's perspective, but this face powder just did not work for me at all. It is a loose powder. I do find that loose powders can be a little bit trickier for textured, dry or mature skin because it tends to kind of like settle into lines a little bit easier, more so than pressed powders. But I just found that this particular powder looked very powdery on my skin, and it definitely accentuated my dryness. It definitely accentuated my texture. Just really not my favorite powder that I've tried. Haven't used it in a while, but that is what I remember feeling about it. So for me, this is going in not a fan. So next we have primers. This is the Hydrating Primer. This primer, according to the Sephora website, is a lightweight hydrating makeup primer for normal to dry skin that nurtures, keeps skin comfortable all day, and extends foundation wear. Personally, not the biggest user of primers. On most days, I will just go in with my moisturizer or other types of like skincare like products to prep and hydrate my skin before I go into it. So the only type of primers that I typically will like to use are primers that are meant to kind of like grip onto your makeup. I do like hydrating primers because I do have dry skin, but I don't really use them that often. I also kind of go through phases. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. This particular hydrating primer, I haven't used in a really long time, so I feel like I can't confidently give you like a strong opinion on it. I do remember liking it, and I do remember this giving a slight kind of like smoothing effect to the skin, as well as, you know, making it feel nice and hydrated, but I don't remember being completely like over the moon about it. If I was over the moon about it, I would have more thoughts on it. It was just kind of okay. Like, this isn't a must-have for me from the brand. So for me, I think I would probably put this in the she's cute category. Like, she's cute, she works, she's good, but she's not gorgeous. The second primer that Fenty has is the Pro Filtr Instant Retouch Primer. This is another primer that I haven't really used in some time, but I do actually remember really liking this. I did find that this was actually very helpful to use before the Pro Filtr foundation because it just worked in kind of adding this barrier on the skin that just allowed the foundation to kind of sit on top of it so that it didn't settle into the fine lines on your face. I found that this actually did a really good job of blurring the skin, but mainly extending the longevity of the foundation. I actually remember it being really good for that and using it with other foundations and really enjoying it as well. So this is definitely a good primer. I'm gonna put it in the She's Cute category. Oh, I almost forgot I have one more foundation product here. It is the Fenty Powder Foundation. Okay, this is a product that totally surprised me. I really did not expect that I would like this at all, especially because I have dry skin. How many times have I said that already in this video? Powder foundation was just never something that I ever even dabbled in just because I automatically assumed that I would hate it just based off of my skin type. But this foundation was beautiful. I found that it was so much creamier than expected. It was not drying at all. And when you touch this powder, it has this really beautiful kind of like creamy finish to it. So when you apply it to your face, it doesn't apply in a chalky way at all. This also has a gorgeous medium coverage. It lasts so well throughout the day. Like, I actually was really impressed with how this wore, especially underneath a mask. Like, there wasn't a lot of transfer after taking my mask off. Also, retouching this throughout the day is so easy because you just need to carry on this compact. So there are a lot of pros to this foundation, and I do actually feel that this is quite an underrated product from the brand. I think it's really good and definitely worth kind of like testing out in case you're ever curious about trying a powder foundation. I think this one is really awesome, and I just love the compact too. It's really pretty. So I'm actually going to put this guy in underrated because I do feel that it is underrated. It's not my absolute favorite product from Fenty, but it's quite good. Now let's dive into the cheek products. I really feel like this is where Fenty truly shines. The cheek products are so good, spoiler alert. So starting off first with the Fenty Cheeks Out cream blushes. I have one right over here. This one is in the shade Fuego Flush, and it's this really fun like tangerine color, and it has some gold flecks in it. I do really enjoy this formula. I do find that they're super easy to work with, especially if you are a cream blush newbie. These are great to start off with because they're not so crazy pigmented where you're going to have some trouble applying them. They're not finicky at all, and they just blend super easily like into the skin. I feel like it's kind of like a no-fail product. The colors that they come in are also really fun. That's something that Fenty does really well. They don't always come out with like very basic colors. I mean, look at this. This is such a fun cream blush, and I swear I don't think I have anything else in my collection that is even remotely close to this. So I think I would put this in must try / favorite because it is. Speaking of creams, we also have the cream bronzer. I also have one right over here. This one is in the shade Butter Biscuit, and I recently spoke about this in my ranking cream bronzers video, so you already know this is a holy grail for me. This is a cream bronzer that I would consider to be the perfect cream bronzer. I think it really hits all the boxes for me of what I look for in a cream bronzer. It's perfectly pigmented, it blends really well, it's long wearing, it's not too emollient, it's not too stiff. The shades that they come in are perfect. There really is something for everybody, whether you're looking for something more cool toned, more warm toned, on the deeper side or on the lighter side. So this is definitely going in the must try / favorite category. We have another bronzer here, but this one is the powder version. Same thing kind of goes with the powder version of the bronzer. I really love the Fenty powder bronzers. For a pretty long period of time, this was like one of the only bronzers that I would use. It just works exactly how you would want a bronzer to work. It blends beautifully on the skin. The shades that they come in are really nice. The color that I would use the most was Private Island, I believe. It's just good. It's a great product. So again, I think I would put this in the must try / favorite category. So next we have the Killawatt Freestyle Highlighter Duos. These come in a bunch of different shades and a bunch of different combos. This one in particular is probably my favorite combo because it's one of the more wearable ones. It's called Afternoon Snack and No Honey, and you have two different shades in here. One that's definitely more intense than the other. That's kind of like the theme with the Killawatt highlighters. You'll always have one shade that it's like way more metallic, way more in your face, and the other one is a little bit more subdued, but I would even put subdued in that sentence because it's not a subdued highlighter. These are definitely really pretty. I actually tend to use these more as eyeshadows than anything else. I almost never put these on my cheekbones as a highlighter. For me, just because of my personal preferences, I do find that these are a little bit too intense and metallic for the tops of cheekbones. But again, that's really just how I like my highlighters. Like, I like a highlighter that's really glossy and glowy and looks like it's a part of the skin. I don't really find that this totally looks like it's ever really a part of the skin because it's just so intense. But especially this one as an eyeshadow, it is so, so, so beautiful. And as like an inner corner highlight, absolutely beautiful. And I use a couple of the other shades in the same way. Again, I never really use it on my cheeks. So this is a good product for me, but not really in the intended use, which is kind of funny. So I'm not really sure where I would want to put this. I think I would put this probably in Take It or Leave It because I think it's absolutely gorgeous on the eyes, but I don't feel like I need to have it in my collection, you know? So this next product is called the Diamond Bomb. I actually have it right here. I have one of the shades called Rosé Rave. It looks like this, and it's super, super intense. So this is basically intended to use as a face and or body highlighter, and it's a very, 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 very glittery, very intense highlighter. This is not really something that you will ever get a natural look out of. That's not what the intent is for this product. Like, this is meant to make you glitter. So some people are either going to really love that, and some people are either really going to not like that. On my face, I'm not really somebody who would ever really put a glitter highlighter on unless it's for like a very specific kind of look. I do think that something like this is really pretty though, like on the collarbones, if you want to just like jazz up this area, or even on your shoulders. That's also not something that I do super often, but it is nice to do on occasion. So similar to the Killawatt highlighters, I don't really use this in its intended use. I do use it more as like an eyeshadow because I find it's really, really pretty as an eyeshadow. Even though it is glittery, it actually doesn't feel chunky to the touch. Like, you would think you would touch it and it would feel really, really gritty, but it doesn't. It feels really nice and smooth. So for me, I would put this also in Take It or Leave It. Next, we have the Match Stix. So this is the first cream product that Fenty released, and I have always had a very difficult relationship with this product because there were some instances and some times when I enjoyed it, but I feel like the majority of times that I use this, I really did not enjoy it. These do come in a bunch of different types of colors. There's like contour and bronzer colors, there's blush colors, there's like really fun colors, and you could use it pretty much in any which way you want. You could use it on your eyes, on your cheeks, on your lips. I typically would use this on my cheeks, and I just didn't really love it because I found that the formula was a little bit on the drier side and not the easiest to use. I didn't really find that they were beginner friendly, so to speak. Like, they were just a little bit difficult to blend out and wouldn't always give me a completely seamless effect, which I just really didn't enjoy. Especially now, there's so many amazing cream products out there that are like a pinch to use. This just isn't for me, and so it's just not a product that I like. And so I wouldn't say this is a void. I don't think it's that like bad, but I'm definitely not a fan. Now let's talk about the lip products. Fenty has a couple different lip products. Probably the most famous lip product they have is, of course, the Gloss Bomb. I have it right here. This is probably one of my favorite products that Fenty released. This is the original Gloss Bomb, and this color I feel like was so well loved because it was so universally flattering. It's a gorgeous, very soft, like brownie rose color, and this really does complement so many different skin tones. The original Gloss Bomb formula gives the perfect amount of pigment to the lips, so they're not super intense, but they also give so much gloss and shine, and they just make your lips look amazing. And on top of that, they're very gel-like, so they're not sticky at all. So I'm gonna put it on so you guys can see. There's pretty much nothing on my lips right now. Like, look at that. Perfect color, perfect finish, feels so good, tastes and smells so good. This is without a doubt going in the must-try favorite. If it's like at the top of the list, really. So there is another formula in the Gloss Bomb family, and it is called the Gloss Bomb Cream. So this is basically exactly like the original Gloss Bomb, but it has more of like a creamier formula, and it has more pigmentation to it. So this color over here is Honey Waffles. It's like a yellow toned nudie brown. You see that pigment? So it has the same type of finish, but obviously it's not sheer. What I really like about these is that they're not gloopy at all. A lot of glosses that are a little bit more on the pigmented side can just be like so gloopy and kind of hard to wear. And I don't experience that with this at all. It's a really, really nice formula. So I do think that these are actually kind of underrated because I feel like they don't get spoken about a lot, but they're really, really good. I have the newest Gloss Bomb product here, and this is the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat. So this is very different from the other two because this is actually supposed to be kind of like a plumping lip gloss. I am personally not the biggest fan of plumping lip glosses because the reason why plumping lip glosses plump your lips is because there's irritants in them which irritate your lips, which is what literally makes them look kind of swollen and bigger. And so this guy definitely does have a little bit of that like burning sensation. It actually does make your lips feel like they're very slightly like tingly and a little bit hot. It's almost like you had some like hot sauce and it just dripped on your lips and then you have that like leftover burning feeling. That's exactly what this feels like on me. It's not unbearable, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. I do actually wish that this did not have that plumping element to it because I really do love the way that this looks on the lips. I love the tone of this. It's this really pretty kind of like cherry red color and it's very sheer, so it just makes your lips look so juicy and delicious, and I really like it, the way it makes my lips look. I just don't like the way it makes them feel. Let me show you what it looks like. And I think for that reason, this is not really going to be a gloss that I'm going to be reaching for a ton, even though I really like the way it makes my lips look. I just don't want that like plumping effect. And as far as the effectiveness of the plumping, I don't really find that it makes my lips look much bigger. This goes into, has some flaws, but it's good. I actually feel like I made perfect categories for this. Another lip product that Fenty has that I think is really, really awesome are the Stunna Lip Paints. I love these. I do feel that these are also somewhat underrated. I think that they are probably some of my favorite liquid lipstick type lip products. This will never make your lips feel like they are drying out. This does dry matte, but kind of more on like the satin matte side because it doesn't completely dry down and suck all of the life out of your lips. It does leave some life there, which is really nice. The only downside to that is it isn't 1000% transfer proof. If you kiss like a napkin or somebody, there would be a little bit of transfer, but it's still more long wearing, I would say, than a typical like bullet lipstick. But what I really like about the Stunna Lip Paints is they are really like impactful, especially like the brighter shades are so gorgeous because they really just pop so much. The pigment is so intense, and you're also able to get a really, really clean line with this applicator as well. I really do like this applicator. It's kind of like this rounded shape, so you're able to get the corners of your mouth and the edges in a really clean way, which I love. And I just think this is an awesome lip product. The red is probably one of my favorite reds, honestly. So I think this is going in the underrated category. This right here is another one of my favorites. I do feel that this is another pretty underrated product from Fenty. I don't find that a lot of people talk about these. This is the Fenty Slip Shine, and they are really beautiful, kind of sheer glossy lipsticks. So they just have some really, really nice shine to them, and they are very flattering on the lips and super easy to wear. The color Makeup Break is one of my favorite like neutral nude colors. Honestly, I'm gonna put this in the must try / favorite, even though this is, I think, a little bit underrated. I like it so much, I'm putting it in my must try. So next, this is the Fenty Pro Kisser Luscious Lip Balm. This is basically supposed to be like a tinted lip balm. I actually do really like these. I use the shade Cocoa Drizzle quite a lot because it's a really pretty kind of unique color for this product category. It's kind of like this really pretty cool tone brown shade, so I really like that. I don't find this to be like super crazy hydrating, but it's a very, very comfortable lip product to wear, and it's just like a nice tinted lip balm. So I think I am going to put this in. She's cute. She's cute. This one is called the Gloss Bomb Dip Clip-On. And this is essentially a lip gloss in a pot that you're supposed to like clip onto like your belt and use your finger to apply. So it's meant to like apply with your finger. When they released this product, I looked at the date because I expected it to be April 1st. They released this during a time where like hand hygiene It's like a big concern. I honestly do not really love like potted lip products because I just feel like it's not the most sanitary thing in the world in general. And the only time that I use any type of potted lip products is if I know my hands are super, super clean, and I really only use it for like lip balm type products. So it's like basically right after I took a shower. I would never use a product like this in the middle of the day with my grimy fingers, like just never. It is just not hygienic at all. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I just thought that the timing was a little bit off. Maybe if they would have released this at like a different time, maybe I would have felt a little bit different. But I just feel like this isn't the way to go. Like if you want the Gloss Bomb formula, just get it in like one of these. Easy. Swipe it. No fingers necessary. I'm putting it in a void, okay? The only product that is probably going to be going here is this. So we have a couple eye products here. Starting off first, the Fenty Fly Liner Pencil Eyeliner. I have tried this eyeliner. It's good. Is it amazing? Not really. It didn't, again, really blow me out of the water. I don't know. I really don't have anything else to say about it. I feel like with an eyeliner, there's like not much you can say about it. It was either like fantastic, amazing, it was fine, or it was just terrible. There's like no in between those three categories. And for me, this was just like, it was fine. It worked. It glided on. It lasted okay. That's it. I'm sorry, not the most exciting review in the world, but I think I'd probably put this in, take it or leave it for that reason. Then we have the Fenty mascara. I'm actually not sure what the exact name of this is. I have tried to love this mascara so many times. I've tried to use it so many times, and I just couldn't like it. I just didn't like it. I found that this made my lashes look really clumpy. I found that it smudged on me. It just didn't work on me. Very simple. So for that, not a fan of this mascara. Now the Fly Liner liquid eyeliner, I actually use this really, really often for like a certain period of time. I think I went through like one or two of these and I did really like it. I found it worked really great as a liquid eyeliner. It was nice and black. It lasted well on my eyes. It was easy to apply. It was a good liquid eyeliner. Do I think this is like the best thing from the brand? No, but I think it was good. Nothing really bad to say about it. So for me, I'd probably take it or leave it. So the Brow MVP is a brow pencil. I have it right here. On one end, you obviously have the little pencil, and then you have the little super, super interesting brush on the other end. I don't really like this product. I didn't really find that this worked really well for me. The pencil itself was fine, but I actually really did not like the little brush on the other end. I found this to be not the most efficient way to brush out the brows. Basically is like a mini hairbrush. It's super odd. I've never really seen any other brow pencil do this. So kudos to Fenty at least for like doing something different and new. But sometimes there's a reason why things, you know, stay the same. And a spoolie like this is really my preferred way to brush on my brows because it just gets the job done and it does it no fuss. This was just kind of weird. It didn't really do anything. It didn't like separate my brows, my brow hairs like how I like it. So for me, I'm putting this in the not a fan category. All right, now let's talk eyeshadow palettes. So Fenty released a bunch of these 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. They're super cute. They're about the size of the palm of your hand. And I really, really love these eyeshadow palettes. I find that the quality of the eyeshadows are really nice. They apply well, they blend well. There's some good pigment to them. The metallics give you that pop. The mattes are nice and smooth. Like there's not really anything bad that I can say about them. I really do enjoy small little palettes like this too. They're really great to put in your makeup bag. They don't take up a lot of room. I think I would put these in She's Cute. Okay, we are almost done. The last two products that I have here are actually tools from Fenty. I really wanted to include these because I have very strong thoughts about the Fenty tools. I'm just going to talk about them very generally. I'm not going to go through each and every brush, for example. So let me just pull up this brush over here. Now, I typically don't like obsess over makeup brand brushes. I usually go for brands that focus only on brushes for my brushes. Smith or even Sigma or Spectrum, they make beautiful, beautiful brushes. I actually really, really, really love the Fenty brushes and I use them very often. I really like the sizes and shapes that they come out with. For example, this brush over here, this is the 195. This is the bronzer brush, but I actually love to use this for powder blush and cream blush and even sometimes cream bronzer. But because it is a synthetic brush, it works really, really well for creams and I love how it kind of tapers a little bit. It's just such a perfect size. They're nice and soft. I find that they're pretty good quality and I also really like the way that they look. they're super cute brushes. You have like this nice soft pink handle, and it just looks good on the vanity too, and that never hurts. So actually, I really love the brushes, and I would say they're even underrated. So I'm gonna put them in the underrated category. The very last product that I have here is the makeup sponge. I actually really disliked the Fenty makeup sponge because I found that it was actually way too soft, and it basically had like no stiffness to it. You would think that like most makeup sponges would work the same way, but they really don't. The density plays a big role in how it applies, and I just found that this was almost like too flimsy for my liking, and I found that it didn't really apply my foundation, concealer, whatever I was using, how I wanted it to be applied. There's nothing else that I can say about it, so for me, I'm just not a fan. That right there. So before I sign off, let's just do a little recap since we spoke about a lot of things here. Let's start off at the bottom and work our way to the top. At the bottom, we have the Fenty Gloss Bomb clip thing in the avoid category. I stand by that. In the not a fan category, we have the hydrating foundation, the Pro Filtr concealer, the eye brightening concealer, the loose powder, matchsticks, mascara, brow MVP, and the makeup sponge. In Take It or Leave It, we have the Killawatt highlighter, the Diamond Bomb, the eyeliner, and the liquid eyeliner. In Has Some Flaws, but it's good, we have the Pro Filtr foundation and the Gloss Bomb Heat lip gloss. In She's Cute, we've got both of the primers, the Fenty lip balm, and the eyeshadow palette. In Underrated, we have the powder foundation, the Fenty Gloss Bomb cream, the Stunna lip paints, and the tools, the brushes. In the must tries and favorites from the brand, we have the Fenty Ease Drop Skin Tint, cream blush, cream bronzer, powder bronzer, gloss bomb, and slip shine. That was so much fun. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing my ranking for every single product from Fenty. Let me know in the comments what brand you'd like to see me rank next. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy it. It really does help let me know that you like seeing these types of videos and want to see more of them. And if you are not yet part of the fam, I would love for you to subscribe. And that is it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.